Okay, thank you, Umesh, for this opportunity. I hope all the people who are attending this session today will have some clarity by the end of what we speak today. It will be, I'm really glad to get this opportunity. We come to curriculum, right? All of these, whether it is CBSE, ICSE, or state or NIOS, all of them have are affiliated to the Indian government, right? So that's why all of them are quite accepted boards. So with terms of acceptance, I don't think there is any issue. We could go with any of them. The only thing that we need to see is the amount of load that the curriculum is giving us in terms of completing our 12th grade, the amount of time that the curriculum gives us, and the amount of flexibility that the curriculum can give us. So if you look at the PU board, you have 2 years to do, same with CBSE and ICSE, and there are a set number of subjects that you can choose from, which are streams, which are either the science stream or the commerce stream or the arts stream. And alongside, you also have exams at the end of 11th grade and at the end of 12th grade. Um, it is now nice that we are also having a lot of beautiful subjects that are being offered by these curriculum. Now, the other curriculum that we're speaking about here is the NIOS. I will speak a little bit in detail about NIOS because not many of us know about this curriculum, and that is because there are not many schools that offer this curriculum because it is India's open school, and it is the world's largest open school that is offered by the Ministry of HRD in India. So that by itself is a wonderful thing to know that the complete all over the world, this is the biggest open schooling system, and it is at par with UC and CBSE and ICSE. So which means that any exams that you want to write, entrance exams, or any colleges or universities that you want to go in India and abroad, all accept the NIOS. There are some classic benefits of this curriculum. One is that you can choose subjects from a multitude of so you can take English, computers, take business studies, economics, and psychology for all you know, or you can take science and you can take psychology and business studies alongside, or economics for that matter. So the kind of subject combinations is nice to see in this curriculum. The second best part of NIOS is that you have 5 subjects that you start at the beginning of 11th grade, and you have 3 opportunities to write these exams in bits and pieces. So you can write 2 exams in a year, and maybe but you have to complete it in 2 years, which means you're only writing 5 exams in 2 years with a lot of time that you can get, as against the exams that you write after 11th and after 12th, which means there is considerably less amount of stress and time for exam preparation. The curriculum is exhaustive. It's not that we can just while away our time and still get through. But it's very beautiful to see that if you are having only 5 subjects and you're having 2 years to complete them, you will have a lot of that is available for the design program, which by itself needs a lot of preparation other than the end exam, because there are skills that are required to make the most out of the college that you're entering into. So that is something that is wonderful in NIOS. So you get the time and you get the space. So which curriculum should you take? You can take any curriculum out of the PU, CBSE or ICSE or NIOS. But having seen the flexibility that NIOS gives and the kind of subject combination and the kind of time that is available on hand, I have always gone for NIOS in my school.
Right. Um, okay. So in this context, what I would like to also uh, add on what Dr. Chaitanya has said is uh, we have to get our priorities right. Okay, especially for students who are going for design and fashion. Okay, so if you have chosen those two careers and you want to go in that direction, you have to understand the importance or the weightage of these subjects or the curriculum. So basically, you have to choose a curriculum where you get maximum time to focus on your preparation for these design and or fashion careers. As you all might know that for getting into NID or NIFT, you have to crack these entrance exams, and it is quite intensive, right? Because there's a lot of competition. Okay, so what Dr. Chetana is saying is, out of all the curriculums that are available, NIOS gives a lot of flexibility and the time, okay, for you to invest in your journey towards the design and fashion careers. Okay, so Kumar Raja is asking, what do you mean by open school? Can you just spend a bit more time on that, Chetana? Like, is it like studying, sitting at home, or going to a school, or what is it like?
Actually, what is meant by open school is definitely you can also homeschool yourself. You don't need to go to a college, and you can just sign up to NIOS directly with your 10th certificate, and you will be able to do this course by yourself. Meanwhile, you can also do your design entrance coaching or anything else that you want to do alongside. There are also schools that offer this curriculum, and if you ask me, it will be better if there is any school format available, because design as a field in itself requires some skills which come by being together in a team, collaborating, learning together, and all of these things. If you look at Orenco, we are actually offering a whole lot of additional things that will help you do perform excellently even in college after you get the seat in bachelor's in design. So it is important to have connection with the industry, with your friends, and also professionals in this area. So it is preferable that you go to an institution. But if at all anyone is in any part of India or even abroad for that matter, can sign up to NIOS and can do their exams by themselves and do other things parallelly. It's allowed.
Right. Okay. So Chaitanya Deshpande is asking over the YouTube chat. Okay, so which has more advantage, PU doing PU or CBSE? Okay, not talking about the NIOS, right? So in this context, I would like to suggest some things. Okay, see, through DQ Labs over the past 12 years, we have um, enabled almost 12,000 students all across India to get into architecture, fashion, design careers. Okay, so what our observation is out of all these curriculums. I mean, if you're talking comparing it PUC, CBSE, and ICAC, I'm not talking about NIOS. NIOS definitely has great advantage, as Dr. Chaitanya is saying. But if you have to choose between CBSE or PU or ICSE, I would recommend, this is my personal recommendation. You can just go with a simple PU board that that has 5 days a week college and maybe 5 hours of lectures per day. Okay, there is no need for getting into CBSE or ICSE. I can give you many examples. One of the examples I would like to take is Mrudula Ranganathan. She wanted to go to architecture. This was like almost 4 or 5 years back, where she has just taken a simple PU math, physics, chemistry because she is going for architecture. And she went to the school, she studied during those hours, and the remaining hours, she has put in her effort in preparing for architecture entrance exams. Okay. And she did very well because she has got plenty of time apart from the college. All right. And she used to come to our training program for architecture, and she did get rank one, and she got into RV in Bangalore, right? So the one of the important things is a student should have time to focus on the career that he or she wants to pursue in the future. That is one of the important factors you can consider while choosing these curriculums. Okay.
I also second that actually. PU
Yeah.
is the simplest, and if you have to choose between PUC, CBSE, ICSE, please go for PUC because it is simple, it is
Yes.
broken down nicely, and you have exams twice a year. takes 2 years, and it's not that vast that you have to spend many hours only on your 12th grade. As we will speak in the fourth question, there are many more things that you should be doing along with the 12th and the new entrance
Correct.
course.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to those points. So Vanshika Garg is asking which schools are offering NIOS in Bangalore, especially around Marthali. Uh,
Actually, around Marthali, you have, I think, Vibgyor. But if you're looking for a career in design, then you could consider Orinco Academy, because that is also near Marthali, and it has a design integrated program with DQ Labs, and a parallel 2-year program in various aspects of design as well.
right. And in fact, I guess even the DPS and other schools are also offering NIOS open schooling curriculum. Okay.
Yes,
But even when you're choosing the NIOS, you got to be cautious, like, okay, what that organization is providing you, how they're enabling you to get into the career that you're choosing.
correct.
Right? Because it is all about, first of all, gaining the time by choosing a curriculum and how you are using the time to your progression towards a career. Okay, so we'll come to that aspect.
Yes.
So Mandar is asking, does NIOS work for architecture as well? Are there classes for NIOS or is it purely study from home?
So Mandar, yes, you can do NIOS and get into architecture also, but architecture requires you to take math, physics, and chemistry, so that has to be taken. And you can join a school which has NIOS, or you could decide to study from home. If you decide to study from home, they will give you a study center, and you can go there for your contact programs. You will have them about 5 to 8 days in a year, and you will also be allowed to use their laboratories, because you're taking the science and math subjects.
Okay, perfect. So let us move on to the next question of subjects and combinations. All right. So let us divide this discussion into like architecture, design, and fashion, because there are certain requirements of subjects for these disciplines. All right. So let us say for architecture, as per the Council of Architecture, it is important, it is mandated that the student takes maths, physics, and chemistry as the core subjects, and the fourth subject can be any one of them. All right. So that is for architecture. For design, there is no specific subject that matters. So you can take science stream, art stream, or commerce stream. Okay. And I would like Dr. Chaitana to highlight on those subjects, especially for design and fashion students. Okay, what subject combination will help them thrive in the future?
Right. So, Umesh, I'd like to just go one step behind and ask students to actually look at their performance till the 10th grade with respect to the subjects they already had taken, and also see if they had, if they have had any um comfort level with any subject. What was the subject that they felt most easiest and most comfortable, and they were, maybe very natural at? That is very important for us to see, because it is those are the subjects that come so easily to you to even understand, that you will be able to thrive in those kind of subjects. So it's important for us to know our aptitude, our attitude, and our achievement. So a little bit of research is required, because mostly in schools, children think math and science are very, very important, because that's what everybody is telling. And all the other subjects are not that important. You will be surprised, English is one of the most required languages in the design field, because you
Right,
have to be able to communicate not only to your team members, but even your design should communicate. And if you are somebody who can design and be able to write, then you are a jackpot for a company, actually, if you're able to write about that product and to describe that product, right?
right,
So that is why it's very important for you to first of all find out yourself. That don't look into subject combinations and whatever college is given, all of that. Once you have found this out, now is the time to understand which are the subjects that really help for me to become a designer. My experience in all these years, I have seen that I feel this for every career, but more so for design, you need to have psychology. If you do not understand human beings, and you're not able to empathize with them, and you're not able to understand their needs, it'll be very difficult for you to find the problem that you're trying to solve with your design, right?
Right.
And it's very important that you understand people's behavior, people's learning styles, how people react to various situations, how do groups work, how do people work in adversity, so many things. What is crowding, what happens to people's minds, feelings, emotions when there is an issue like the pandemic now. This is a golden time for design actually, but if we do not understand people, that's not going to work, right? So
True.
it's very important for me. I feel psychology is very important. Like I said, I think it's important in every career, but more so in design. Second is your business studies and economics kind of subjects. These help you to understand what's happening in the field outside. Most of the products that you create are for business houses somewhere. You have to understand what is the need of the business, what do they really want to do, what are their, what do they want to gain out of this, what is the business plan, how are they going to sell this, how soon they want this product to be on the shelves, or what are they promising in terms of their branding. So a lot of these things are important to understand. And economics, because how does the world really work, what is exactly happening. Like currently in India, for example, make in India is a big thing. Why did it become a big thing? Why do we want everything to be made in India suddenly, right? And what is happening to our economy that suddenly there is this talk around it that we all should take up this opportunity. So these are important for you to know. And even if you're doing your science or whatever, studying about these aspects through newspapers or through people talking, or talk shows or whatever it is very important. So if you ask me, other than these three subjects, which is psychology and economics and business studies kind of subjects, the other most important subject is computers. Because if you do not have the power of technology to combine with your innovative ideas and the power of understanding a business, your product is not going to be there, whatever product you're making. Technology is advancing at a great pace, and there are amazing things available. Like if you see now, you don't even need tailors, right? You have these 3D stuff that you will measure you and send your dress home. So how did that happen? And if I am a designer and I have no clue of these things and I do not know how to integrate these aspects, it's going to be very difficult. So computers is the other aspect. So if you ask me, if you really want to do well in design, take up English, definitely, business studies, psychology, economics, and computers for sure.
Yeah. So that's great
And
input.
if you take architecture, sorry, Umesh, if you take architecture, please take math and science as it is required, but at least add on either psychology or economics.
Hmm.
And you will be amazed to know that if some of you have already signed up to PUC or CBSE or ICSE, you can still sign up to NIOS for an additional subject and do it.
Oh,
That's
that's
the
interesting.
beauty of NIOS. Yeah, Umesh, even you and I, if we feel today that, oh, I didn't do this subject, we can go back to NIOS and just do that one subject.
Oh, nice. And the credits will be added.
Yes, yes. I had a friend's daughter who wanted to become a pilot suddenly
Right.
at 25, and she hadn't taken science, and physics is very important to become a pilot.
Hmm.
So the only option she had was to go back to NIOS, just take that one subject at the 12th grade level, and
Hmm.
add on to her existing qualification.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's pretty
yeah.
cool. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to a few of the questions here. Uh, Samat is asking, sir, if I want to do interior designing, what courses should I take? Okay. So I have little thoughts on this, right? So um, those who wants to go for interior designing, okay, if you love math, physics, and chemistry, my recommendation is to do architecture and practice as an interior designer, because by doing so you are having a greater hand on your creation. Okay, but if you don't like PCM And if you still want to do interior design, yes, you can get into a design school, and you can study there. All right. Um, in terms of the subjects, if you're going for the design route, if you're going for NID or any other design school, so arts and commerce streams are okay. So as Dr. Chaitanya has suggested, you can go with the psychology, economics, English. What are the other subjects? Entrepreneurship, probably. Yeah, you can definitely take those subjects. Okay, but if you're taking the architecture route, if you love PCM, please go that direction, and you'll be in a better position to practice as an interior designer. Your comments, Dr. Chetana?
Yeah, I agree with that because I think architecture is also moving to a very different zone at the moment with all the sustainability and
Correct.
the space where we are moving into in terms of all of this. I think unless architects and interior designers all collaborate and work together and understand different
Right.
materials and how they can be put together, it's
Right.
not going to be a good match. Now interior designing is no longer only about making shelves and making the space look beautiful. I think it's
Yes. Yes.
way beyond that,
It's way
and
beyond that.
somewhere the lines are merging between architecture and interior design
Correct.
already. So
Correct.
you have better advantage if you are trained as an architect and then move into specializing in interior design.
Right. So in this context, I would like to inform that tomorrow we have a industry e-meet, and we are meeting with architect Ravi. Okay, so he has been a project architect for one of the uh, visionary projects of Shri Narendra Modi. So it is a five-star hotel on a working railway station. So he has designed that, and tomorrow he's going to explain that project to all the participants. So please attend. Now that five-star hotel is the Leela brand, so he's also taking care of the interiors of that. So it's a quite an interesting project that he's working on as an architect. So those who wants to do interior design, or in fact any other design discipline, I would highly recommend you guys to come and attend these industry e-meets. We are having them every Sunday. The objective is to give exposure for the design aspirants and also the parents to understand what these professions are and how they can support their child, right? The moment they have made a decision. Okay, so please do attend these industry meets. Rohit can share the link in the chat window for you guys. Okay.
So I have something to add here. I think what you're doing in terms of these webinars is excellent, and every child who is looking at design as an option should look into all of these, because one of the major issues that students face after getting into a design college is they're not so sure if the stream that they got into is what they wanted, because they thought something and they came there and now it is something else. So it is better that we don't look at design as fashion design, interior design,
True.
transportation design, and those blocks now.
Correct.
You think of that later. At this point of time, design is design. Everything and anything is design,
Right.
right? So look into getting experiences and by from these people and looking into their lives and seeing how exactly they're making a difference to the world, because you could be there, right?
Absolutely.
So it is important to attend these as much as possible. The 11th, I feel even from 8th grade, this is what you
Yes.
should be doing.
Yes. And I just would like to add here that design is an interdisciplinary activity, it's a collaborative activity where multiple designers, multiple engineers, professionals will have to come together and exchange ideas and work together,
True.
right? It's not that because you're a fashion designer, you're not interested in any other industry. You will be amazed to know that fashion designers contribute a lot in the automotive design as well, like all the interior trim, the coverings of the seats and etc. Right? So they
Correct.
play important role in color and trim, right? So there's so much of knowledge sharing that happens, and as a design professional, I always suggest my students to keep their mind open, right? Explore and get flavor of all the things that are happening in the world. So it's a uh, yeah. So it is very relevant for any child looking to become a designer or an architect. Okay.
True. And I think this is, see, basically, whether you're in 11th and 12th or you are in the bachelor's in design, you are basically only learning how to learn, frankly. you're not yet learning how to work.
How to
And
work,
when you're
how to
learning
create.
how to learn, you once you enter into the market is when you'll start learning how to work,
Right.
right? And that is the big gap. And in the next few questions, I'll talk to you about how to remove this gap,
Hmm.
right? And that is why when you actually go to work, you'll realize there is actually no distinction. Everybody works in tandem and everybody has something to say, and you may just crisscross these design fields that we have been speaking about in distinction at the moment, and
Correct.
that will happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So moving forward, Kumar Raja is asking, if my child wants to take architecture, does she mandatorily need to pick math standard as one of the subjects with the two new streams introduced by CBSE? So as per the Council of Architecture, so they define the criteria for a student joining an architecture school. So as per them, a student will still have to study math, physics, and chemistry. Okay, so I understand two new streams have been added, but math, physics, chemistry is mandatory till the point the COA revises their mandate.
But I think it should be mandatory because the kind of study and in-depth knowledge that architecture requires,
Right.
math and physics are extremely important.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Chemistry also, because you're
Chemistry.
kind of bringing in so many materials and you are using them. And if we look at the advancements happening around us, I think it's inevitable. We need it.
Mhm. So there's an interesting question from Krishna Singh. Good evening, ma'am. Can my son do DArch after 10th? He wants to do BArch.
What is that?
So diploma in architecture. So after 10th, can he do diploma in architecture and then do bachelor's of architecture? Okay. So I would like to share some perspectives here. So DArch, diploma in architecture, is a 3-year program. Okay, that is number one. Secondly, there is some confusion whether a DArch person can directly go to the second year of BArch and study forward. Okay. Um, this confusion is occurring because with other diploma students, okay, if they have done diploma in mechanical, and if they're going for bachelor's of mechanical, they can skip 1 year and go to the second year directly, those who have done diploma. But unfortunately, that is not happening with the BR course. What that means is, as per my understanding, all right, or what I'm seeing in the students, a student who has done diploma in architecture can definitely go for bachelor's of architecture, but after he writes the NATA exam, okay, he would be joining the first year of architecture, not the second year of architecture. So he's not gaining an additional year by doing diploma in architecture. Okay, so those who are doing, see, first of all, architecture itself is a 5-year program, right? Unlike bachelor's of design, which is a 4-year program, right? So if somebody is doing DArch, so he has to put in 3 years of studies in diploma in architecture, and then 5 years of studies in bachelor's of architecture. So that kind of becomes a little longer route, okay? But an alternative for that would be if we can pick up NIOS, okay, and learn whatever is required for the profession, for the BR profession in the 2 years when he's doing NIOS, he would have a tremendous advantage in his preparation. All right. Okay. Sorry, I got a call. So I would recommend a 2-year 11th and 12th, and then doing a 5-year BR rather than doing DR and BR. That is my view and my suggestion for the student. Do you have any comments to add, Chetna?
Yeah, I think in general, for any child, the time taken for education now is almost taking away years from experience because the world is moving at an extremely fast pace. Everything is changing so much that by the time you finish learning, the world has already changed outside, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
it's better that we condense the time taken for education as much as possible, but invest a lot of time in gaining experience. That I will say again and again, right from eighth grade, I think you need to invest time on internships, shadowing people, and the other things which we'll speak in question number 4. But any amount of time that you can get to experience these careers is going to have a much more value addition than just studying your math, physics, chemistry, or any subject that you take up.
Right. Great. So I'm skipping some questions because we have already addressed those points, guys. So if you feel that your question is not answered, please feel free to re-ask the question. Okay. So Shibala is asking physics, chemistry, maths, CBSE board, and a fashion design career without taking a gap year. Is it possible at all? Shibala, it is very much possible. There are so many students from DQ who directly go to fashion design career, joining NIFT just after they finish the CBSE board. Okay, but the only point we are trying to make clear here is if you're considering fashion or design or architecture as the possible or as the main career choice for you, and if you're taking physics, chemistry, and math, okay, I would like to just warn you that don't get into the pitfall of also preparing for engineering because you have math, chemistry, and physics. This is what I see in a lot of students doing this mistake. Okay, they think that okay, yes, architecture, fashion design is my first career, but maybe as a second choice, let me have engineering as an option. And with that little thought, what parents and students do is they join an engineering integrated program in a school. Like they teach CBSE or PUC. Apart from that, they also prepare the student for IIT, JEE, or CET, NEET, entrance exams. All right. So that's a big mistake because what happens is the amount of time you are left after your school, after your coaching for your engineering entrance exams, and then for preparing for the design, the time you get is absolutely zero. So I have seen many brilliant students, they try to travel in two different boats, one for the creative careers and other for the engineering careers, because they are really good in physics, chemistry, and math. And the school teachers have told to keep the engineering as an option, as an open option. And because they have brilliant children anyway, they are trying to balance both the things. And what we have seen in reality at the end of the tunnel is they could not do either well in the engineering entrance exams or the design, architecture, fashion entrance exams. So the ending was terrible because they could not manage their time. So my sincere request to students and parents is if you're taking PCM in a CBSE board, absolutely fine, please go ahead. But at the same time, if you're having the dream of becoming a designer, fashion designer, or an architect, please do not join an integrated engineering entrance program. Okay. Um, yes. So to come to the point, yes, Shibala, it is possible you taking physics, chemistry, math, CBSE board, and preparing for the design entrance exams properly, and you can, without a gap year, you can get into NIFT college like NIFT. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So I always tell students, don't become greedy for subjects and experiences and choices, like how we become greedy at a buffet. Okay, we have Chinese and we have Mexican and we have South Indian and we have North Indian. When we actually stand at the buffet, we want to have everything, right? And then we load our plate with that. The plate is going to be heavy, the food is going to all spread into each other. You're not going to have the taste of anything in particular. You'll end up eating it because it's on your plate, because you have to finish it, because it doesn't look good that you are in a public space. And especially with whatever is happening in our country now, wastage is not going to be accepted. Same like how you have to finish all your courses with the highest number of marks or whatever it is, and then the next day you're going to have an upset stomach. That is what will
Right.
happen to you at the end of this entire experience. That is why I'm saying, first of all, think logically as to why you're taking these subjects in the first place. Are they really required for the courses you want to take? If you want to do architecture as well as design, please take math, physics, chemistry. If you're very sure that you're going to take design and as plan B you have a BA or some other degree that you're going to do, or liberal arts or something like that, then don't take maths, physics, chemistry, because whatever you have learned till 10th in math and science is enough for you to spend the rest of your life. You don't need what you're going to learn in 11th and 12th. And in today's world, you can take up courses alongside in these subjects without having to write a board exam in them. I have seen design students who did not take math and science but ended up in design college and suddenly needed a concept in math or physics, and they went and studied that in Khan Academy or something. You don't need to write a board exam in that subject. So, first of all, think what exactly you're good at, what exactly you need for these courses. Take that kind of subject, supplement it as much as you want. No one is stopping you, but spend more time in preparing for the design program. It is not easy to survive in those 4 years. I will tell you stories of what exactly happens and how you can be prepared for that. But it is very important to invest a lot of time first in your 12th grade exam, second your design entrance coaching exam, and third definitely in preparing your toolkit to get into that college and to do 4 years fantastically, instead of just trying to survive over there, just trying to be afloat, right?
Very
So
true.
think about this. Don't take anything and everything that comes by. Don't go by what everybody is doing. Go
Very
very, very, very logically. In my school, we actually ask children after 8th, ninth grade, go to colleges and find out, I want to get in 4 years, what percentage do you want? And Umesh, we have been speaking, right, for design entry somewhere between 70-75% is
correct.
required. Some of the colleges need 60%. You'll have to see that and work only towards that, because even if you get 100% marks there, it's not going to really add on to anything.
Correct.
So we have to really have a very intelligent approach to doing this. Just don't go by whatever is happening. Remember the buffet experience. You don't want to have an upset stomach.
Absolutely. So that leads to the third question: do 12th marks matter? If yes, how much?
Yeah.
Right. So let me put it like this again, differentiating the architecture, design, and fashion disciplines. Okay. For example, for architecture, the 12th marks matter 50%. Why? Because they consider 50% of your 12th marks and 50% of the NATA score or JEE paper 2 score for shortlisting the ranking. Okay. So they take all the 12th marks, including math, physics, chemistry, English, and the fourth subject, right? They take 50% of this and they add it to the 50% of your NATA score. They combine it and then they basically give the ranking based on that. Okay. So for architecture, your 12th marks are important. But for design and fashion, if you just qualify the 12th board, that is enough. But having said that, okay, please try to cross at least 75%, because there are certain schools that would require you to have at least 75 plus or distinction. For example, you're taking design and you are given UCEED entrance exam for IIT Guwahati. For getting into IIT Guwahati for doing bachelor's of design, they require you to have distinction marks in your 12th. Okay, so for students who are taking architecture, your 12th marks are important. So try to get 90 plus in your 12th boards. That is important. That's number one. If you're going for School of Planning and Architecture or NITs or CEPT Ahmedabad, no, only for School of Planning and Architecture, Bhopal, Vijayawada, and Delhi, and the 11 NITs, they consider JEE paper 2 ranking only. They will not consider your 12th marks as well. Okay, it is only for admissions to the remaining 450 architecture schools that the 12th marks are required. The system is that way currently. Okay, so for design, if you're going for design and fashion, your board marks doesn't matter much. What matters a lot is the ranking in your NID or NIFT entrance exam. That matters a lot. Okay, Dr. Chaitanya, would you like to add?
No, it's the this is what it is, and I think that is why it is important to study the websites of all these colleges, speak to them alongside, get this information, what exactly they're looking for. right? Some colleges are very clear on the percentage that they want, but they want many more other things. Maybe they want a portfolio, maybe they want you to have some prior
Right.
experience.
Right. 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 Okay. So Chaitanya is asking, for architecture is the fourth subject considered for ranking. They are considering all the subjects a student has studied in the 12th, and they're taking 50% of that, and they are adding it to the NATA score, 50% of NATA score. All right. So Sundara is asking, my daughter has not decided what to pursue. However, she is not interested in PCM. Kindly advise. So, Sundara, first we need to understand whether your daughter is interested in doing uh, which design discipline. Okay. So based on that, probably we can suggest. Okay. So what I recommend is, um, please kindly get in touch with us on 959-100-1000. Dion, can you just share that number so that they can get in touch with you, and we can guide you more specifically in that case to case basis. Okay. Okay. So going to the fourth question. Okay, these are the 12 subjects we need to study for those 12, and we need to get so many marks. Now, apart from that, what should I do alongside? That's a very important question, right? Because yes, you are studying to get a certificate, but what is more important is to ensure that you do really well in the profession of your choice. So, can you start early? Can you do something now such that you can do really well when you go to design school, and not only in the design school, but later on as well? Chetana, would you like to add on that?
Yes, my research comes from speaking to a lot of students in design colleges and also after they have completed design education. And that is why sometime back I said, in these schools, you will learn how to learn. You're not learning how to work, right? Because that happens only when you come out. And that is true for every career. Even if you're doing engineering, you only when you come out, you will know what exactly the world outside is, and that is taking away valuable time from students across the country actually, because the world is moving at a faster pace and things are changing everywhere, and that is why it's important to be in connect with industry as much as possible. So what I suggest and what we have done in the Orinco Academy program also is having a 2-year program alongside 11th and 12th, and I suggest it even for 8th grade onwards. If any of you have siblings or anything who are in 8th grade, after you have figured out, even if you figured out design, not really fashion design or some design or architecture or something, you know that you're going to be in this creative field. Even if you know that much, it is important for you to start going into each one of them deeply, talking to people who are in those fields, asking if you can shadow them or do some small internships, watch people's videos online, try to recreate their work, if not anything, right? Try to just do that. Learn creative skills like maybe even drawing, painting, coloring, using different media, materials, all these aspects. Now, alongside these things, you also have the skills that are needed to survive. How do I work in a team? How do I communicate? How do I, everybody speaking about sustainability. What exactly is that? What is social responsibility? What does knowing people mean? What does empathy mean? What is this design cycle? It is very important to know all of these things as well. Understanding how to live by yourself, a lot of skills are needed to just work in a setting, right? In a office setting. So now when you draw something and show your parents or your cousins or your teachers or someone, everybody is like, wow, this is fantastic. You should have the grit and determination and patience for people to just throw this in the dustbin and say this doesn't work, and not once, several times, several copies, right? And how do you get there? How do you actually manage your feelings in that and emotions in that? How do you handle yourself? These are all skills that you need. So what I always have seen is, if you start early and if you start working with professionals in some way, you will have these tiny experiences, and since you're small, people around you have some patience with you. They're not going to meet out the same treatment that they're going to do when you finish your BDS or your a master's in design and then get out, right? So you have ample time to learn and be an apprentice and to learn. That is why it is important to pick these skills. But I do understand that in the world that we are in and in the colleges that you are in, there is absolutely no time for all of this. Because on one side, you have to run to finish your curriculum and your exams. On the other side, you have entrance coaching. On the third side, you have the distractions that normally all teenagers do. And in that, where do you go? Fine, I'm ready to get experience, but where do I go for these experiences? That is why when I created the Orinco Academy Design Integrated Program, I actually added these things, wherein you have a 2-year focused approach to the survival skills, which is about just being there in that environment and working and being able to manage yourself and the world around you. Plus having the design skills. So how do you work with materials? So we have a carpentry workshop, we have an electrical, electronic, all the workshops are there. So how do you actually stand there and get the work done? It's not so easy. When you go into design college, they'll give you a block of wood and say, make something with it. Have you touched wood before? Do you know the grains of that? Do you know what happens? Which tool has to be used? How do I make something out of it? It's in your head. True, because you're creative and you have design and you drew it on paper also. How does that get into the wood and become something out of that? How does that paper come to life? It's not so easy. So how can you spend 2 years in actually understanding material, understanding machinery, and working with it? Alongside, how can you meet actual product designers, actual fashion designers, actual architects, and understand their lives and understand their work and understand, do you have it in you, right? How can you actually understand from an entrepreneur's mindset? When an entrepreneur comes and talks to you saying, this is my idea, I want this, now design this for me. What are they meaning? Are they ready for anything that you design? No, they will have constraints of money, of materials, of timelines, of many things, right? So then where we are, one of the words that you'll usually see in design field is understanding user persona, right? It simply means understanding who is the user that's going to use your product and translate that. It's not so easy. They're complex. All users are going to be complex. They have complex needs and they have complex feelings. The way they express is going to be different. It's not going to happen overnight just because we have a bachelor's in design or a master's in design. It takes years. Now it's your choice whether you'll spend the years now while studying, doing it, or you'll spend those days after you finish your education, which is difficult because once you finish education, you have your loans to pay off, you have your, you have to earn and you have a life and you have to support your parents, whatever it is. The pressures are too many at that point of time. World is not that accepting and forgiving for a person who's there on job. But for an apprentice, we always have time. So that is why it's important that alongside these all things are being done, please don't discount this time. Just and you anyway need your portfolio when you are getting into a design college. Definitely DQ Labs will help you in getting that portfolio, but just having stuff on paper and all that, only that is not enough. That's nice to get into the college, but once you get in there, you're going to be bombarded with a lot of stuff, and if you've never touched them or felt them before, it's difficult. They'll give you a block of wax. Have you touched wax other than the candle in your home? Nowadays, we don't even touch that because we have, other than the birthday candle every year, out of which you anyway can't do anything much, right?
Right.
So these are things, wire and all of these things. It feels very nice to just know and see things and people making beautiful things out of it. You actually get it in your hand. Maybe you can make something out of it, but can you make a product that you designed on paper with this? Not so easy, requires a lot of practice. Is possible, definitely possible, but requires a lot of practice. So that is why we created this 2-year integrated program with DQ Labs, where definitely get the entrance coaching, and surely with the kind of ranks that they always get, I know every child here will get through this the any college. My whole work is towards helping you thrive in that design college for 4 years, and even after you come out of that, to just get on job and get going. That is what we're trying to do. So you can also do that. You don't need to come to Orinco for that. But alongside, that is why I've been telling right from beginning, don't take subjects you don't need. Don't try to grab everything that is there. Think very logically and keep time for all these things.
Right. Wonderfully explained. Okay. So let me put it like this, okay? In terms of the priorities, all right. So yes, you are in 11th and 12th. The first priority is you come out of that is flying colors, okay? Second is you have to get into a good architecture, design, or fashion school. So you need to prepare for that as well, right? Because you have to go into a good national institute to have good education. Okay. And third, at the same time, this is not just enough. At the same time, you also have to build certain behaviors, attitudes, aptitudes, and mindset that can help you do really well in the design school and beyond as well. Okay, so at DQ Labs, yes, we help you to prepare for these entrance exams for NATA or JEE architecture or NIT UCEED or NIFT and FDDI and other private design schools as well. Okay. Um, what I suggest is, see, currently we are engaging all the design aspirants who wanting to improve their skills. We are having a learn and design sketching program. It's a 3-day wonderfully crafted program. Within 3 days, you can see a lot of change in the way you're communicating with your sketches. All right, so we'll be focusing on one point perspective and drawing interiors, environments, exteriors, and products in this. And this is actually a paid program, but we are giving it out for free because this is we feel that this is some way we can engage the creative individuals in this lockdown and social distancing era, right? So if you're interested, please register in this link. I'm sharing that link with you, okay, in Zoom. Dion, can you please share it in the YouTube chat as well? Okay. So when we say that we are preparing you for architecture, there was a question in the forum. They're asking, are you prepare us for IIT mains and advanced as well? No. So we are not an engineering entrance exam preparation center. We help you get into architecture, fashion, and design. For architecture, you will be writing IIT JEE paper 2. All right. So that doesn't have physics and chemistry. All right. So IIT exam will have math, architectural awareness, aptitude, and sketching questions. So we'll be helping you when we say we prepare you for the IIT exam, it is for IIT JEE paper 2. Okay. And for NATA, yes, they have added physics and chemistry. So we add math, physics, chemistry will teach you. But considering that this is not a replacement of your school or your regular tuition for math, physics, chemistry, we assume that you know certain fundamentals in these, and we help you to crack those questions related to math, physics, chemistry in a very short time. So our coaching, our preparation for these entrance exams will be based on that. So I would like to clarify on that thing. Okay. So now going to the fifth question, skills and aptitudes required to thrive in the creative profession. So Dr. Chaitanya has been telling that yes, you need to have certain skill set, design skill set that you have to build over a period of time, okay, to do really well, to thrive uh, in the uh, in the industry. So let me just mention few of the skill sets that you have to develop. All right, there are certain skill sets like presentation skills. Okay, you have an idea. How do you present it to people? Through drawings, through presentations, PowerPoint presentations, through models, etc. That is presentation skills. Team building. As you know that this profession is a collaborative work. So you have to have great team building skills, research skills. Okay, so if you're designing for somebody, you have to deep dive and learn everything about what that particular problem is all about. Okay, so you have to become a detective. So I'll tell you a small example. One of my friends who is Sarvesh Chinagi, okay, he's my classmate in IIT Delhi. So he does not have any medical background, but he has been employed as a medical device designer. Okay, so what he does is he goes along with the surgeons to the operation theaters and stands there and observes what the doctors are doing in the operation, what kind of tools they're using, what problems they're facing, what kind of assistance they require. So you have to really deep dive into these kind of a problem design briefs. So for that, you need to have great research skills. and it's a skill, because just reading through Google or looking through some magazines is not the research. Research has a proper meaning, yeah. So apart from that, 3D skills, like for example, physical or virtual. When you are talking about physical, creating 3D models, maybe using thermocol or glass wool or wood or maybe clay or wire. Okay, so using 3D models with that, and virtual 3D skills, like for example, creating a building in SketchUp or maybe a model in 3D Studio Max and rendering them. So these are all the 3D skills, and for that you need to have the design software knowledge, right? Yes, these are exposed to you in a design school, but just imagine what level would you be there. I mean, you can do if you already know this and you go to the design school to actually use this knowledge to execute projects and go further, right? So some of the skills are like video editing, photography, filming, tool exploration, like various tools for manufacturing. How do you use them? Okay, industry visits, meeting professionals, okay, and observational skills. So whatever you look around, you should be quite observant, okay, of your surroundings. Okay, then very interesting printing skills. So how do you print whatever you see in a computer screen? How do you ensure that you print with the same quality color combination on a paper on different kind of mediums? How do you print? What settings you have to use? Okay, and nowadays we can also think about 3D printing skills because we have 3D printers available. Okay, and few other very important three very important skills is number one, problem finding. As designers, as architects, we are problem finders. Okay, so we are really good in finding problems. So in fact, a BMW designer, he said that engineers solve problems and designers find problems. So that's the special status that we have as a designers. We find problems because we are sensitive to human beings, to the nature. We're observant to our surroundings. We can find problems. Now, finding problem is like finding opportunity. Okay, and then once you find the opportunity, how do you brief them? How do you put it in a concise way that the stakeholders understand that that is a problem? So these are some of the skills that definitely you can develop alongside your 11th and 12th standards. Okay, and you can do, of course, you can do on your own, or you can also join an institute like Orenco, right, where this is given as a part of the package for you, right? So I hope Dr. Chaitanya is back here.
I'm here, yeah,
So I
I'm
was
here.
just trying to fill you up when you were not
I'm here.
present. Oh, you were
No,
here?
no,
I could
I
not
was
see
here.
you.
Just that
Okay.
my video, I don't know, for some reason is not switching on.
All right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So would you like to add something
Yeah,
for
I want to add something very simple that people overlook. Okay. We
right?
must understand that today, all of the children who are aspiring for creative careers are one or two creative people amongst a lot of normal people. So everything that you make or do or speak looks very exciting for everybody around, right? For a non-creative person, a creative thing is excellent. So one is that aspect. Second is now you're at home, secured, and in a situation where everything is running fine, fantastic. Most design colleges and architecture colleges, you will not be at home, right? You have to learn to live in a different place with different people, with a lot of creative people suddenly. Just that thing of everyone creating things better than the other amounts to a lot of stress, and that stress kind of numbs people, right? So you are going to be dealing in the first year with a lot of these issues, just being in that community, learning different space, state, or different city, not having your parents, a lot of these things you're going to be in that. If you want to learn new skills, or say learning a software suddenly, because in 3 days you have to give up in something, it's not going to be easy. So it's important to see how easy you can make your transition into college also possible. That is why it is important to skill yourself in many areas before you enter there, so that you use that time when you're there for the first year to adjust to the world around you and to adjust to a lot of requirements that are there in terms of the time and space. I have seen students studying almost till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the night, Because, and it's not studying like how you study burning the midnight oil, learning volumes of data. It's just about hacking your brain to find that beautiful next product that you can think of, which is unique and not like anybody else's. That itself is stressful, right? And that's why children in the design colleges have told me, Auntie, if we had just learned this software in our 11th and 12th, half of the stress would have gone by. And suddenly now we are given this, we are given requirements to do a project which we have no clue of, we've never done something like that before, and this and that, everything put together. And sometimes you're living by yourself, so you have to cook, clean, and do everything and do this. It's not going to be that easy. So that is why the more you can get skills, please do that. Even general skills, please learn cooking. It's nothing to do with design, but I'm telling you, learn cooking. It's very important, right? That's why. So because generally you are right now using MS Office, and you're focusing more on general tools, right? In school and home, and also you're not really going to use that in the future. You're going to use something very different, right?
Yeah,
That is what we have to think of.
that is very true. And in fact, I feel that there should be a change in mindset of the parents and students as well, because till 10th standard, the focus is okay, getting good marks in the boards, clearing boards, and etc. 10th is done. Okay. Now, what is happening is they're also extending the same thought process for 11th and 12th. And unfortunately, it is going for the design school and architecture school as well. Okay. So it's very important that you change your mindset after the 10th, that whatever you're doing, okay, you're doing to enhance your career, the skills, you're building the skills to do well in the profession. Okay. In fact, I am really saddened to see some students, okay, who do not have proper mentoring and etc. They come out of these design schools and they wonder, what should I do now? Okay, I got a certificate. What should I do now? I mean, if they're asking such a kind of a fundamental question, that means that whatever they are having their dream vision etc is little problematic, right?
So happening before also, no, Umesh, because
Yes,
so many children drop out of design colleges after all the pain they've taken.
yes,
They're dropping out, and some of them are just staying afloat there because they've already invested so much time and money. You might
yes,
as well finish it.
yes,
That is having two issues. One is you feel unfulfilled. The second thing is you took away someone's opportunity to be there.
absolutely, absolutely. That is very true. That is very true. All right. So we have already crossed our 6 o'clock timing. So what I suggest is there are some other questions regarding Orinco. They're asking about the fees.
Uh,
How much is the fees?
can I
Are you
just
open
share
on
the
26th?
screen? Can I
Yeah.
just share?
Yeah, please, you can. You can. Also, you can get in touch with us, DQ Labs 959-100-1000. Okay. So we will be there to help you. Whatever doubts you have, you can get them clarified. Okay. And there are so many other questions. I'm really sorry we are unable to take them, but we are always available one to one. You can always reach us. Please note down the number 959-100-1000. Okay. Yeah, please, Chetana, please go ahead.
Can you see that?
Yes, we all can see.
Yeah, so that is the Orenco program, and that has not only the 11th and 12th covered, and we have the amazing DQ Labs program as well, which will enable children to get into their colleges of what they really want to. And alongside, we definitely have the Orenco specialized program, which are the toolkit programs. The foundation program will take care of the children who would like to, who will get the foundation skills of surviving after design college and in design college also, wherein they will learn how to just be with people and work with people in different areas. The design toolkit is what we spoke about. All the skills that Umesh just in just now, I think all of them will be covered, and not only just with the help of a lot of industry experts, who are all willing and learning to work with Orinco. I just want to add here, why do people want to work with Orinco is very unique, because Orinco is the only school which has a based education system right from kindergarten to 10th grade. So 11th and 12th for us was a natural progression. It is not something new that we're getting into. K to 10, we are already, children are studying and learning all these things. Our website, I will just in here.
Yeah.
All the details are there. You can go to our design preparatory college page, and that is the website. This is the number that you can get through. Please do connect. It is not really essential to connect only for you to into Orinco Academy, but we've spent a lot of time on these aspects, and so any queries that you have, we can. I really love the experience and expertise that DQ Labs has. They also are adept in doing this, but make sure that you're taking the right career and doing the right things for that career. Do not go in the herd mentality and the old mentality of just doing everything at the same time, and then maybe something you will achieve that. You know, basically it's like throwing darts in all directions and hoping that it'll reach the right.
Very true.
That is not how career works.
Right. So for those of you who are, I'm sorry. Yeah. So for those of you who are confused whether to take architecture or fashion or design or creative career, we have a wonderful program that gives you an experience of what you do as an architect or a designer, as a fashion designer. It's called Design Exploration Program. So you actually work on 15 hands-on projects and you get to experience what these professions are, and then you'll be able to take a call whether to go forward or not. So if you are interested, please connect to DQ Labs and we will help you understand how we can help you figure out which design discipline you have to choose. Okay. And I would like to thank everybody for coming over for this webinar. I hope most of your questions are answered. I can see a few more questions that are coming in, but unfortunately, because of the time constraint, we are unable to take those calls. But please get in touch with us on 959-100-1000, and we will be answering all your questions over there. And please do sign up for the Learn Design Sketching. It's a free 3-day program. You can improve your skills tremendously. And also attend the e-meets that we are having every Sunday. You can gain a lot of insights on the architecture, fashion design careers by attending those e-meets. All these are pretty much free. We are doing that to spread the awareness about architecture, fashion design, because a lot of people are not aware of these interesting careers. And they just go, as Dr. Chaitanya says, herd mentality. They just go and end up in a dead end where they are unable to find out what else to be done. Okay, so my request is please spread these programs to your known connects who are looking for getting more knowledge or awareness about architecture, fashion design, and help us promote these awareness programs that we are organizing. And thank you so much, Dr. Chaitanya, for being here and answering a lot of questions and giving us insights on NIOS curriculum. Thank you,
Umesh. Yeah, if I can spend 2 minutes just talking about what DQ Labs does, that would
sure. Yes,
help out. Yeah. Can I have share access, please, to my screen?
Yes, please. You can take over.
Yeah. All right. So at DQ Labs, my name is Dion, and I'd just like to take 2 minutes of your time to talk about what DQ Labs does. We transform your hobby for art into a career. We have been in existence since 2006, and what we do is we help all students ideate, and this ideation is channeled into something functional using the design thinking process, and that's what we do for all students. From here, you can see that this logo that the student has done, Siddharth, has been made into a little more realistic image, right? That's just to show you what the processes and the output, and thereby there are tons of opportunities, whether it's architecture or design or fashion. There are tons of opportunities out there for you. So DQ Labs has been founded by Umesh and Sean, both designers from IIT Delhi. Umesh is a TEDx speaker and has worked with Jaguar Land Rover and Hyundai Motors, and is the founder of DQ Labs and Example EduTech. And Sean is a designer, was a designer with General Motors as well, and also the co-founder of Example and DQ Labs. Example is an award-winning learning platform with expertise in the field of learning design. It's won the NASSCOM Design for India 2019 award, the last NASSCOM award. And we are researchers in education in the field of learning design, which means if something has to be learned, how does it need to be taught so that learning is effective? So that's the field of research that we are into. And our research has been presented at a conference at Singapore. Like we mentioned, we do a lot of free online sketching programs. All of y'all can join this. We do the industry e-meets like what Umesh mentioned earlier. We have one tomorrow and the link has been shared. We have school e-meets periodically. That too happens a lot. We have our regular services, which is the design exploration program, which Umesh spoke about, the skill development programs, design sketching, digital skills. We have entrance exam coaching for architecture, design, and fashion. And we also have portfolio guidance for whether it's a UG student or a PG student or a professional. One of the unique things about DQ Labs is that we also give live projects to our students, the opportunities to really work on live projects. Nimble Foods is designed by Pranav Kumar, class 12. Maya Clothing by Tanvi Patravali, class 11. We have our students who got selected for paid internships as well at the Learning Cloud USA, Texas, USA. And we, of course, love all our students. Over 80 of our students participated in the most recent Designathon, where they worked with real designers and to give solutions to real NGOs. So this is a small little showcase of what the output is. Okay, that's what we believe in. Our students have done extremely well. This is the latest round of results, whether it's in NIDPG, we've got the top 4 ranks, in the first rank in 4 disciplines. Similarly, in NID-UCEED, in NID-UG, UCEED, JEE paper 2 for architecture, we've got a 99.92 percentile, and over 100 students of DQ Labs have cleared NIFT 2020 round 1. All right. So follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, look for any of our centers at DQ Labs and give us a review if you like this webinar. That would keep us going. We are located all across India. So you can always feel free to reach out to us. All right. Thank you so much. Umesh, I'm done.
All right. Okay. So if you have any questions, I don't mind spending some more time here to answer your question. And if not, the webinar is ended and we can take a leave. All right. So if you have any questions, please ask in the chat window. Okay. Any specific questions? If not, we can end the session in some time. Yeah.
Umesh, thank you for inviting me over.
Hi, Chaitanya. Yeah, it was lovely having you here. Okay, so I hope a lot of questions of the participants have been answered. Okay, I'm sure we can have some uh, more such sessions. Okay.
Yeah.
Athar is asking how much is Aramco fees? Can you?
Yeah, we can send it to them. So I'm just saying that if they can get in touch through our website,
Yes.
There is a form there, and we can let you know what it is. It's definitely much more affordable than going to 3-4 different places. And I'm so happy that DQ Labs is there with us on that journey as well. So you don't have to go to different spaces for this.
Yeah. So
Everything rolls into
Shivana,
one. Actually, it is India's first design integrated program, isn't it, Umesh?
yes, it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
So yes, so we aren't yet open, Athar, but we will be opening whenever somebody wants to visit us. The school is open, but the team will be available whenever you need, whenever you want to come. We'll work that out. Shouldn't be a problem. But please go through the website. You will get a sense of the space. You'll get the sense of the program and who is working behind it. And definitely we are here, and we'd love to speak to you and meet you.
Right. So Shibala, I think I got your question. Okay, here it is. I have it all figured out, but I believe I'm a little late. I am in class 12. I know I want to do fashion design, but I do not really have many of those skills. Do I still have time with PCM to crack NIFT entrance? I have started practicing some creative skills and I will work hard. So, when you say you're in class 12, you just came into class 12 or are you finishing your class 12? I can unmute you, Shibala, so that you can talk it, you can make it more interactive. Okay, I'm unmuting you. Would you like to talk and explain? Have you finished your 12th or you just entered the 12th?
Enter 12th.
Oh, entered 12th. So you have definitely almost 8-9 months of time. And Shivala, we can help you on that. Okay. So whatever necessary skills are required to crack the entrance exam, we will definitely help you. So we have a 1-year program for helping you prepare for cracking the NIFT entrance exam. Okay. So you have to attend 4 classes a week. Okay, and that amounts to about 12 to 15 hours per week. And if you put in that effort every week consistently, you will be thoroughly be prepared and you will be cracking the NIFT for sure. Okay, so all is not lost. You still have 8 to 9 months of time, and that too for the first level of entrance exam, and the second level of entrance exam will be sometime in May. Okay, so we have these classes happening every week. So as I told you, you have to dedicate for about 15 hours of time per week. All right. So it is not too late, and we can help you prepare for that.
Umesh, please share your screen.
Share the screen. All right. Okay. All right, Shivara. So does that answer your question? Okay. Anybody else? Let me just check. I'm just checking the chat. All right. Okay, great. So if there are no further questions, we will stop this session for now. All right. Okay. And thank you once again. Thank you all for participating and be in touch with us. Please make use of the sessions that we are organizing for all of you, the e-meets and the learn design sketching and school e-meets and all that. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, apart from the Facebook and Instagram. And you can get in touch with the programs that we are organizing. All right. So Chaitana, thank you so much. And I think we can end this session for now, for today.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Yeah. Have a good evening and thank you all so much.